What's up, family? My name is Levins, and today we're going to be talking about Axie Infinity Origins. Just a few days into Season 20, we get the most leaks for Origins we have ever seen. Now, I could go into every single picture and break down every new little part that I see, but I want you guys to make it home for dinner. So, today we are going to be talking about the release plan. We're going to talk about the new game mechanics of Origins. We're going to talk about the onboarding process, and last but not least, we're going to check Twitter for anything that we missed and some tweets from the community. Let's get into it. All right, let's talk about the highlights that I found from the Axie Infinity Origin is Coming article, linked down in the description if you want to follow along. First, Axie Infinity will have brand new interfaces, game mechanics, art, special effects, storylines, and an expansive onboarding experience with the addition of 3 free starter Axies that will make it much easier to recruit your friends and family to join our community. That's probably one of the things I'm most excited for, is to get my mom, my sister, all to be playing Axie Infinity Origins, with the plan to release by the end of Q1 2022 or the end of March. Just note that this is only a goal and it's not guaranteed. So you know when it's going to release. Let's talk about how they're going to release it. First, Origins will be released in an alpha phase, which will only be available on Mavis Hub and Android APK apparently. We don't see any love for the iOS users yet. Hopefully coming soon, of course. During this alpha phase, there will be no SLP or AXS rewards available. This is okay because Battles V2, the current system of Axie that we know and love, will still be running while the alpha version of Origins is out to allow you to earn SLP and AXS at the same time. After the alpha phase, we will launch with Season 0, which may transition SLP earning from Battles V2 into Origin during the season, at which point Battles V2 will be shut down. Otherwise, Battles V2 will be running in parallel until we are ready to transition. So it looks like if everything goes well, during Season 0, we will be seeing some, if not all, earnings in Axie Infinity Origins. One question that I've seen actually a lot is, will my Axies from Battles V2 be usable in Origins? And the answer is, of course. Your Axies are a ticket to all future experiences built in the Axie universe, which includes Axie Infinity Origins and Axie Infinity Land. Let's talk about some of the new game mechanics that will be introduced in Origin. The first thing that sticks out to me in this picture is this little symbol right here. This looks like we're going to be getting some in-game emotes to be able to play and show off to our friends, or to make fun of them when I 1v3 their whole team. These graphics look absolutely amazing. The card art looks so good. The background, the battling Chimera look all so fantastic. Let's talk about some of the actual mechanics. First, there will now be sequential turns. So instead of you both looking at your full hand, playing the cards you would like to play, clicking end turn, and then watching everything happen, each player will take sequential turns. So I will play my cards, and then I will press end turn, and you will play your cards, and then you will press end turn. Trainers will now be in constant action. This fast-paced new game design is more engaging and provides a greater feeling of control over your Axies. I totally agree. One thing that's going to be a little bit weird to get used to is unused energy and cards will no longer accumulate across turns. Now, I've seen some cards that will be able to do this, but for most part, you will be dealt a hand and you can either play a few cards or not, it seems like. Check out some of this new card art. Looks so good. The Ronin, the Godzilla for the tiny dino, it looks amazing. Something that's going to be a big change going into Origin is that most of the cards you know have carried over to Origin, but they play differently. As you can see, Ronin, instead of doing a guaranteed critical strike, it deals 50% more damage per energy spent this turn. So completely different mechanic. We've tried to keep the spirit of the card as consistent as possible though, which is good. I like to see that. Currently, Tiny Dino does higher damage after 4 turns. It looks like in the future, Tiny Dino will be retained to actually gain more damage, which is interesting. Axie's eyes and ears will now have moves, so the meta combinations have increased significantly. All of your Axie eyes and ears were originally just for stat changes, and now they will actually have cards tied to them that you can draw and play in game. Take a look at some of these. One of the coolest things that I've noticed from this picture, which looks like is going to be our runes and charms, is this little microchip and this little floppy disk. Are mechs going to really be like robots or mechanical Axies in the future? I think that's really cool. Going into the power-ups, runes and charms are new power-ups we're introducing to Origin. Runes give passive powers, and charms are wearables that enhance an Axie's inherent abilities. To craft these power-ups, trainers will need to earn off-chain resources called moon shards from winning battles. Initially, non-NFT runes and charms can be crafted using moon shards, and eventually more powerful NFT-based runes and charms will be able to be crafted with SLP and moon shards. One of the most interesting things is that these are going to be crafted with a new token called moon shards, which is going to operate completely off-chain. Moon shards have to be earned by playing the game, which I think is very interesting. Take a look at some of the charms right here. We do not get to see any of the runes, which I think is interesting. Each season's runes and charms will be removed from gameplay in the subsequent season, which means that trainers will need to continuously be on the hunt to upgrade their Axie. This is very interesting. Now, at the end of each season, you will have to play and grind up your stack of moon shards to be able to get new runes and charms to upgrade your Axies, to be able to compete in the ever-changing metas. However, depreciated runes and charms can be disenchanted to harvest back into crafting resources, which is a great thing to know, that even though you have some runes and charms that will expire at the end of the season, that they don't go to total waste and they can be used for future resources. Moon shards will also be reset at the end of each season, so remember to use them up before the season ends. Basically force people to be playing the game every single season to earn these moon shards to keep constantly upgrading their Axies. One of the biggest changes in Origins is that there is no longer critical hits. New above card play mechanics such as Rage, which Axies can accumulate over the course of battle. This sounds like it's going to be a power-up meter that after you play or do some sort of actions, you could fill the power-up meter and then do extra damage when it's ready to go. Lastly, simplified Axie stats. In Origin, Axies simply have hit points, and that is it. No more speed, no more morale. And in my opinion, it looks like runes and charms will be used to give you the advantage of speed that you would originally get from owning an aqua or owning a bird. Or it would give you an advantage of the new rage mechanic, which you would typically get more crits from owning a beast. Look at these cute little starter Axies you guys are going to be getting. Axie traders will be able to play the game now for completely free. Starter Axies are not NFTs, and players cannot earn SLP for using them for now. If they want to get a larger variety of Axie team compositions, they'll have to pick up some NFT-based Axies from the marketplace. This is very interesting because now you have a way to get into the game, fall in love with Axie Infinity, play with your free Axies, learn the game, and really decide if you want to make the jump into buying some NFT-based Axies. Axie Infinity has also provided a new plethora of tutorials to better help explain the different parts of gameplay. This is pretty cool because we currently don't have any tutorials. You really are just kind of thrown into the fire when it comes to gameplay. Lastly, Axie says, we're so very excited to show you Origins. We appreciate everyone's patience as we continue to work tirelessly on it to put out a high quality game for everyone to play. Alright, let's jump into some of the tweets. Axie Infinity actually had a Twitter space a couple of days after the release of this article to talk about some more things from the article that may have been missed. Let's get into some of the tweets that they had. First, body part upgrading is still in early stages, probably won't come until later this year. Now, we saw that it looks like SLP is going to get a burn mechanism with the runes and charms, but the body part upgrading isn't going to be coming until a little bit later. Higher purity Axies will be able to equip higher quality charms. This is interesting because currently a lot of the meta teams run chop suey Axies. So it looks like that the higher purity Axies are going to have some sort of advantage in the future when it comes to charms. We'd like to roll out our first iteration of our creator program with the soft launch of Origin. This will likely feature a marketplace and referral code. This isn't important for you guys. I just want to let you know that I'm going to get a referral code, so, you know, I'm just kidding. Jiho's intern actually tweeted, "What's the deal with the lightsaber crab?" If you guys missed it. This has been one of the most memed pieces of art from the teaser. This crab is actually one of the minions that our Axies will be able to summon for battle. There will be certain cards that will allow trainers to summon minions. This is another huge game mechanic change, not really mentioned in the article. There are going to be cards that can summon minions. It's pretty cool. So potentially you have a guy like this fighting by your side. Our boy Smooch or Quinn has tweeted production for the Origin launch trailer has begun. That is so cool to hear. Our friend Cairo tweets about what we think is most likely going to be some in-game emotes. I'm so ready to verbally abuse everyone, and I'm right there with you, brother. Last but not least, our friend Best Axies over at Axie Tech tweets, Axie Infinity Origins is shaping up to be not a simple game update, but an entire ecosystem and economy upgrade. I believe we are about to set a new bar and standard for NFT gaming. Nasia will be seen as the gold standard. Now guys, that's a lot to unpack here. Axie Infinity Origins is going to be so much new information, and a small leak like this is hard to break down in a 10-minute video. If you guys are curious about more things, Axie Infinity Origin, I stream on Twitch every weekday at 7 p.m. Central Time, 9 a.m. Philippines time. Come check me out there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Here's some other cards right here. Whoa! Wait, they changed this. They changed this picture since I've been looking at this. That's crazy. I just realized that recording this video. They changed this picture